Which side to pierce? Going to give you 4 questions you can ask yourself that helps you make that decision. Coming up next on Body Piercing Basics, episode number 125. So you might want to stick around. For those who are new to the channel, first off, welcome to the channel. Hope you're enjoying the videos. Hope you're finding them helpful and informative. But you may not, especially if it's your first one, you may not know who I am. My name is DaVo. I'm a professional body piercer and have been since 1994. I own and operate the Axiom Body Piercing Studio located right here in Des Moines, Iowa, inside Skin Kitchen Tattoo. What we're going to talk about today is probably one of the most common questions I get with various different piercings. If it's a piercing that can be done on multiple sides, they always ask, which is the right side? What is the side that I should do? This comes into play with any ear piercings, of course, nostril piercings, oral piercings, of course, nipples, and sometimes in various different genital piercings. But we'll get into a little bit of that later on. First thing you need to ask yourself, I'm going to go into the questions, and we'll go into some of the thoughts about, why this tends to come up in people's thinking. There's 4 of them. The first one being is, are you planning on getting both of them done? If you're planning on getting both of them done, it's really not going to matter. For example, if you're only going to do one nipple piercing or you're only going to do one nostril piercing, then yeah, you need to decide which side's going to work best for you, or an ear piercing. But if you're planning on getting both sides done, like you want to get 2 nostril piercings or you want to get some bites of some sort, then it really just kind of comes down to, hey, we can start on this side or that side. It really doesn't matter. The second question you want to ask yourself is, which side is going to be easiest to isolate? Now, this comes into play especially with facial piercings and ear piercings. If you're more prone to sleep on your left side, then you want to do your right side, because sleeping on the piercing is going to be an issue during the healing process. If you're doing ear work and you answer the phone with your right hand and you spend a lot of time on the phone, you want to do the other side. It just comes down to what's going to be the easiest for you to deal with and the most practical. The third one, this one's kind of a hard one for most people. What side seems most natural to you? I generally suggest that close your eyes and just kind of picture that piercing on their face or on their ear, and hey, which side seems more normal to you? Where do you see that piercing being at? And this usually most people will be like, maybe the left or the right. The last question, number 4, is which one is your best profile, your right or your left? With this one, generally any piercing that you get done is going to draw attention to that part of your face. That's half the reason of getting pierced, or one of the reasons. Not necessarily half the reason. But if you have one side that you just particularly like the left side of your nose better than the right side of your nose, or your left ear better than your right ear, or you part your hair a certain way, or wear your hair back in another way, or what have you, then the side that you like to show off is probably the side to pierce. So if you take photos, you take a lot of selfies, and you always take them from your right side, then your right side having that nostril piercing is going to be more visible if that's something you want to show off. Also, ears are kind of the same way. Everybody has kind of a favorite side they like to take photos. You might be like me and one of those weird people that just likes to take them straight on, but a lot of people have one side or the other. So this is often referred to by the kids, I'm told, as the selfie side. Now let's talk about why people are worried about doing this wrong or getting the wrong side. The first reason is generally they're afraid they're going to put out the wrong signal to someone and they're going to assume something about them. A lot of this comes from folklore revolving around the left ear piercing in the 90s and various other things. Really, if you're in Western culture, and unless you are very much in an ethnic group where there is significance of this particular piercing, it's not going to make any difference whatsoever. The next one is cultural meaning. Now, if you're a part of that culture, or ethnic group or what have you, you already should know what the meaning of that piercing is, where it should be positioned, and which side signifies what. If you're not, it's really not going to matter. Even if you interact with people from that culture, they may initially be confused by it, but I think in most cases they're not going to look at you and go, oh, that person's trying to be part of my tribe and they got it on the wrong side, or that means, since they have it on that side, it means this. The reality is most people are not going to do that. They might be kind of interested in your piercing, but beyond that, shouldn't be an issue. The next one is subcultures. Now, subcultures have various different signs and winks and etc. And dog whistles, and I don't mean that in the racist way. I mean that in there's just certain things that people pick up on. Like for me, I have a huge background in the punk rock scene, so there's certain clothing, certain types of shoes, certain type of pants, certain type of this, that point to little subsections or how far the person is into this culture. Now, unless you really hang out in those cultures or are a part of that subculture, chances are you're never going to encounter anybody that's going to magically think that you are into something, usually sexual, that you're not. They're not going to assume things about you because they're going to look at you and go, yeah, they're not into this. They're not into the no. And if you're in those subcultures, that meaning as far as right and left can vary greatly, especially since the internet has come about. People make this stuff up all the time. And regionally, it can change from country to country, from state to state, from city to city, depending on what you're into and what you're involved with. So if you are not of an ethnic culture that has a tradition of doing piercings on one side or the other, a subculture that is as signifies, your role in that community, or etc. It doesn't matter which side you put it on. Nobody cares but you. And we want you to be happy. So if it seems more natural for you to have your right ear pierced and not your left, go for it. If it feels more natural to have your nostril piercing on your left, go for it. If you want lip piercings on the right side or the left side of your face, go for it. It's not going to drastically increase the amount of people coming up and talk to you about things you don't want to talk about, and it's not going to put out special secret signals to anybody, especially now where a majority of the people pierced on the planet are not involved with these cultures, did not grow up in these cultures, and are not involved with any subcultures pretty much at all. Well, hope you found this informative. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you liked it. Subscribe, hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Also, check out our merch store. Comment if you have any questions. Till next time, here's hoping all your piercings heal with ease and without a single issue. And if you're in the Des Moines, Iowa area, I hope to see if your body piercing needs in the future. Have a good day, everybody. Check out some of these other videos.